Well, welcome back, my 8th grade YouTubers. I know that you guys have been looking forward to the new topic. For the last couple of weeks, actually 5 weeks since you guys gotten back from Christmas break, you guys have been studying functions, and you guys have been graphing linear functions, describing what a function is. Just recently, you guys have actually started getting the graphs and giving them story problems. Actually, our quiz is on that this Friday. But now, next Monday, on February the 12th, we're going to get into a new topic. We're going to actually start solving multiple step equations with variables on both sides. Now, some of you guys are like, on both sides of what, Mr. Gonzalez? Well, what makes an equation an equation? Very simple. Equations have equal signs. Without equal signs right here, this equation wouldn't exist. So we need equal signs to have equations. There's a number for this variable m, and we want to figure out what that number is. We want to go ahead and figure out what number makes this left side of this equal sign the same as the right side of this equal sign. Some of you guys are like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do I have to figure out? You want to figure out m is equal to a number, so that if you substitute m for this number, and you don't know what this number is yet, but you're going to find this number. And this number, if you multiply it by -8, and then you add 42, it would give you the exact same answer as if you took this number for m, and you multiplied it by 3, and you took away 2. Now some of you guys are like, wow, I don't know what that number is in my head. Well, there's some steps. You can figure out what this variable m is, but there's rules. You want to go ahead and try to move all of the constants, coefficients on one side, and the coefficients with variables on the opposite side. These numbers without variables are called constants. So what we want to do is we want to move them either to the right or to the left. Now, what I like doing is I like having positive numbers. I love positive numbers. A lot of you guys at home watching this video, you hate negative numbers, you hate fractions, you hate decimals. Well, let's not try to get any decimals. Let's try not to get no fractions and no negative numbers. So what I want to do is I want to put all of the numbers that don't have any variables on the right side. But there's a reason why. You see, if I get rid of this -2 by adding 2, and then I add 2 to balance the equation, I'm going to get a positive 44 here, and I'm not going to get any -2 plus +2 to give me a number. This is 0. This is going to add up to a positive number. You see, if I take away 42 from this side, and then I balance the equation and take away 42, I'm going to get a -44. I don't want negatives. I want to get positives. But Mr. Gonzalez, what about this -8? Well, you see, I'm going to move this to the opposite side. I'm going to go ahead and add 8m, and then this is going to cancel away to 0, because a -8m plus a positive 8m, what's 0? When you balance the equation, you have to actually do the exact same operation on the other side of the equal sign. Well, this is going to give you 11m, and this is equal to 44. Well, some of you guys probably already know what the answer is, because you guys know that when you have a coefficient, a number in front of a variable, it means to multiply. So you're actually multiplying this letter m by 11, and it has to be equal to 44. Well, you guys probably already know. This variable equals 4. But if we're going to show all our steps, here's what we have to show. We have to show the inverse operations. You see, believe it or not, in 7th grade, because I'm teaching this to my 7th graders, we actually learned words like inverse operation. We learned these words like isolating a variable. Now we actually have to use them in 8th grade again. So let's use the inverse operation of multiplying by 11, and let's divide by 11. Let's balance the equation. You see, these words, we've already learned them. We've learned what balancing the equation means. When you divide 11m by 11, you're isolating the variable, so there's one of them. Then you balance the equation by dividing 44 by 11. Well, 11m divided by 11 is 1m. When you isolate a variable, you get it all by itself. There's only one variable m on the left side of the equal sign. When you balance the equation, you divide 44 by 11 because you do the same thing on the right side. Now m is equal to 4. Well, I want you to pause this video and I want you to write down this equation here. I want you to write down this equation here, my little 8th graders, and I want you guys to take out a scratch piece of paper and see if you can do this one for practice. Pause the video right now, and then when you're done and you get what variable x is equal to, unpause it and check your answer. I'll wait for you guys right now to pause the video. Okay, welcome back. So I know that you guys have unpaused the video and you want to check your answer with me. So since we're starting this, here's what I would do first. I would get rid of that -6 by adding a positive 6x. Remember, I want to try to get as many positive numbers as I can because negative numbers sometimes confuse people and it's an easy way to make quick mistakes. So, if you can, try to add 6x. Well, this is going to give you 0 x's on the left side of this equal sign. Well, what about the right side, Mr. Gonzalez? Well, here's where you have to balance the equation. I'm going to add 6 x's to 4 x's. Well, this is going to give you 10 variable x's right there. But Mr. Gonzalez, what about that -9? Once again, remember, we're trying to move all the numbers that don't have any variables to the opposite side. So we're going to get rid of this -9 by the inverse operation. We're going to add 9. This is going to cancel away to 0, and then I'm going to balance the equation and add 9 to 1. Well, this is going to be equal to 10 over on the left side. Well, some of you guys already know the answer is x equals 1. So let's just check this though. If we divide 10x's by 10, isn't 10x divided by 10 equal to 1x? Yes, it is. And we now isolated the variable. It's all by itself on the right side. So now let's balance the equation and divide 10 by 10, which equals 1. Now, we haven't talked about checking your answers, but you can easily check your answer. When you check your answer, you can evaluate your expression. See, what you can do is, you can actually take this equation and say, okay, -6 times x plus the number 1. This should be equal to 4x minus 9. Now, it won't be equal unless you only have one answer for x, 1. So I'm going to take this x and I'm going to put in a 1 right there. This is called evaluating. When you go ahead and you take out the variable and put in the number, that's called evaluating. We're going to evaluate this expression on the left, and we're going to evaluate this expression on the right. So let's see here. -6 times 1, well, that's -6. -6 plus this 1, that equals -5. Let's see if the other side gives you a -5 as well. Well, let's see. 4 times 1, that's 4. 4 minus 9, that also equals -5. If x is equal to 1, and this is the only answer x could be equal to, both sides of this equation will be the same. And that's how you can evaluate your expression after you isolated the variable. Well, this is our introduction, and we'll be studying this more when you have variables on both sides of the equation. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and of course we'll be studying this topic next week on Monday, February 12th. Take care, my 8th grade YouTubers.